Without further ado, let's get into the new news today in the sports world. Starting out with Myles Garrett has requested a trade from the Cleveland Browns. There's a statement that was released on his behalf. I saw it from Adam Schefter on Twitter, so that's where I'm reading it from. And here it goes. As a kid dreaming of the NFL, all I focused on was the ultimate goal of winning a Super Bowl. And that goal fuels me today more than ever. My love for the community of Northeast Ohio and the incredible fan base of Cleveland Brown fans has made this one of the toughest decisions of my life. These past 8 years have shaped me into the man that I am today. While I've loved calling this city my home, my desire to win and compete on the biggest stages won't allow me to be complacent. The goal was never to get from Cleveland to Canton. It has always been to compete for and win a Super Bowl. With that in mind, I've requested to be traded from the Cleveland Browns. Signed, Myles Garret. So, obviously, a very disappointing outcome if you're a Browns fan. Here with Garrett being a former first overall pick, an all pro, pretty much like the ideal player that you could ask for. He has 102 and a half sacks. That's fourth among active players for him in the league amongst, defensemen, any player, right? The thing with there is you draft him first overall in 2017, you go in 16, 7, 8, and 1 the next year. And then 2020, you go 11 and 5, you win a playoff game, things are looking good. That's when you make the trade. Or actually, the next year is when Baker Mayfield gets hurt, finish 8 and 9. Not as good. Make the trade for Deshaun Watson. He has to serve a suspension. They finish 7 and 10. Deshaun Watson gets to play. He gets hurt. Joe Flacco comes in 11 and 6, and then 3 and 14 this year for a total record since Myles Garrett was drafted of 53, 78, and 1. So that's not going to get it done for a player who, he did put his heart and soul into things for the team. He really was a great player. It's going to be tough for Browns fans, and I want to hear your thoughts there. I've been through something similar in my fandom life with Jason Taylor, getting traded from the Dolphins to Washington. And then he left Washington and signed with the Jets. That was a nightmare. So very conflicted. How are you feeling? Like, if Myles Garrett gets traded, are you going to root for him, or are you going to be like, I just can't? And then I think the bigger thing that I'm sure is weighing on your mind somewhat, I know it would be weighing on mine, and I guess it even is coming into the segment, just trying to get Deshaun Watson, trying to get over the hump, trying to be a team that competes for championships irrespective of potentially morality around their decision making. Was it too much? Did karma come due because Baker Mayfield leaves? Not great in Carolina, but has been really good for the Buccaneers the last couple of years. Nick Chubb gets injured, and now Myles Garrett wants out. Deshaun Watson, who knows what's going to happen with him? Who knows if he's even going to play again, and probably will never play at the level that he played in Houston. And, don't worry about anything else potentially coming out about him. So very disappointing. Is that like the biggest turning point, I guess, as a Cleveland Browns fan in your mind since the Browns have come back to the league? Like, oh man, going all in on Deshaun Watson really set the team back for years and years? Or, are you trying to rationalize it a little more like, hey, we're the Browns, if something would have happened bad. Regardless, I don't know. It does suck, and I feel bad for Cleveland Brown fans on one hand. I don't feel that bad for ones who are like super pro Deshaun Watson, obviously, but yeah, it's tough. It's a tough situation to be in. And it couldn't have been a nice thing to wake up to this morning to see that Myles Garrett wanted to leave the team. So please let me know your thoughts about all of that in the comments.